What would you do about illegal immigration? Illegal immigration.
Illegal immigration. Well, how about we enforce the laws that we as a nation have decided to pass? How about if we have the same requirements to show identification when you vote as when you have to show up at a rally for a political rally? I was reading recently, Obama won't let anybody into his rallies unless you have ID. So if you need an ID to go see President Obama, shouldn't you have an ID to vote? I think voting is a little bit more important than that. And at the same time, we need to make sure that to get an ID, you prove that you actually are a citizen. If you... I'm out. I think you can guess my intentions from that.
I actually enjoyed that. I didn't know that about Obama. I think that's pretty interesting. So, you have to enforce the laws that are currently on the book. This is a nation of laws. People come here because the opportunity that this constitutional republic provides because we abide by our laws. And you have to be willing to say that in mixed company. And the only person that attended a rally down in Shawshank, Tacoma, where the crowd was completely Latino, and there were a lot of illegal immigrants in the room. And I was willing to stand up before them and say, yes, I will enforce the laws that are on the books. That means if you get caught, I'm willing to send you back. They didn't want to hear that. But if you can articulate to them that the bounty of this nation, the freedom that it provides, only exists if we abide by our laws, they will be reasonable and listen to that. You just can't pander to them anymore. The second thing I would say is build the fence now. Build the fence now and don't change the subject. If you look at this national debate, they always want to move it from, well, let's build the fence, but then they talk about comprehensive immigration reform, and then they never build the fence. You bail the water, or you plug the hole before you bail the water. So build the fence first.
It's all about the money. We're paying them to break the law, and then we're not enforcing the law. We have to quit paying people to break the law. We have to quit giving them welfare, free tuition in colleges. We have to quit patting them on the back for breaking the law. It's as simple as that. It's always about money, and unless we reduce the economic motivations for the illegal immigrant to come into our country, unless we raise the risk to them for doing so, we will lose this battle. Another important point, allow the states to enforce the border laws consistent with the United States laws when the United States has abdicated their constitutional responsibility, as they have now. And there's an important Supreme Court ruling pending in that regard involving Arizona. It should be down next week. I hope it goes Arizona's way.
It is a question of the rule of law. We have to enforce those laws. I also agree very strongly that we need to push a lot of the states that are closest to the issues to handle it themselves, to do it in a lawful manner, but they understand what they're dealing with. The citizens of those states understand what they're dealing with, and they need to be able to enforce their laws the best that they can.
All right, Jesse. Being in the House, you would not. Why were you using that? That's right. No, I'm fine. I think I can be heard. You're in the House, you would not be voting on Supreme Court justice, but Doug just mentioned the Arizona case. We also know the Obamacare case is coming down next week. If you were to move up to the Senate or as a member of the House, what is your criteria for the selection of a Supreme Court justice? What would you look for in a person in the Senate of the court?
They would have to abide by and be willing to abide by the original intent of the Constitution. And then have case law backing up that belief so they could show it to us. We don't want another David Souter, who was appointed by Bush the first, but then basically was a turncoat and then didn't really care about upholding constitutional principles. I believe that people like Roberts, people like Scalia are the type of model that we need to fall back on, regardless of how unpopular they are. They're upholding the original intent of the Constitution, and that's very, very important. Also, as a senator or as a congressman, I'd also be willing to go out and, as your congressman, meet with high school students, meet with all of our young kids and explain to them the importance of our Supreme Court justices and why original intent is so important for their future freedoms and their future economic viability.
I would look for brilliance, I would look for courage, and I would look for somebody who's middle-aged. And for courage, I think we have one of the most courageous men who's ever served in public life as an example, Clarence Thomas. If I can find somebody like him, I'm on it. And of course, we also have to have the brilliance of Scalia and Alioto. We have to have that. And before them, Robert Bork, who was so rudely treated. But we also have to be tough with the opposition. And we have to vet the liberal fools that they keep shoving down our throats. And we have to smear them with their record, their hypocrisy, and their foolishness.
Certainly a strong adherence to the Constitution, demonstrated record, and brilliance, as Doug said. The impact of the Supreme Court is far-reaching. It reaches into every area of the society. So we have to make sure that they adhere to the Constitution. They're not going to be swayed by emotion, the emotions of the day, and they have the intelligence to understand the far-reaching impacts of their decisions.
I agree with Jesse on this. The original intent to me is the most important criteria. Yeah, brilliance is great. The ability to articulate and educate others is great too. But if you're convincing them that the Constitution is a living, breathing document that you can make mean anything you want it to mean, we have enough of those. The left always seems to stack the deck with those. We need to go the other direction. When we have the chance to put somebody in power, we need original intent. We need somebody who's going to bring us back towards what the Founding Fathers had as a vision for our nation, not steer us clear away from it. So I would look for original intent, and we don't have to moderate. We don't have to make them happy and have a middle of the ground person. They never do. So let's play their game. Let's have